Alright guys, Scrappy again. I hope you're doing well and enjoying your day so far. When Call of Duty returns after the Christmas break, it's straight into tournament play for Minor 1, and Dashy has given his perspective on exactly the way the tournament bracket is shaping up for OpTic Texas. They played Boston in the second round, assuming they beat the Vegas Falcons, but after some good relationships developing between the OpTic guys and the Falcons boys over the last few days, Dashy reckons they're going to have to take it easy on the green wall. Very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Before we begin today, I know that some of you guys will be aware of this already, but a few months ago, myself and a couple of friends founded a new fragrance house with the goal of making absolute premium, best of the best quality scents for a fraction of the cost of what you'd pay for a Killian, a Tom Ford, a Creed, stuff like that. We just launched our first scent a couple of days ago, a beautiful, rich, Indian sandalwood-based fragrance with a floral twist of rose at the end. It's a masculine scent. I know that Trey absolutely loves it, but I've had great reactions to this from both men and women. I know that for many of you guys, fragrance might be your thing, and that's absolutely fine. We would appreciate it if you'd follow us on the Instagram, at least to follow the journey. That's in the description box below for you guys. And, well, if you guys are interested in the fragrances, then we do have a special launch offer for you all over the next few days, pre-Christmas and just after Christmas, because if you're from the UK, then it'll arrive before Christmas. Otherwise, I'm not so sure. But if you check out the website and you add a full 50ml bottle, and then you also add one of our travel vials, which I have one of right about here, then you'll get that as a launch discount completely for free. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that for you guys, because I've been working on this behind the scenes for months. A little personal update from me, really. Just like a new project, totally unrelated to esports and like news coverage or whatever. But I thought that some of you guys might be interested, or you might know someone who likes fragrances. They might have a little follow, and it could be a good time for a last minute Christmas gift. Let's get back into the Call of Duty stuff. And here is Pred live again last night. It's good to see Pred actually, you know, back in action and playing a lot, or at least streaming a lot, right? Just because I know there was some concern when Pred was gone from OpTic and there were all the questions around it, whether Pred would, you know, be around, you know, would he give his perspective? Of course, he did on stream a couple of days ago. Now he's still been grinding a lot, which is good to see. Of course, he's back there in Australia for now. Pred's intention is to get back to the States. And, like, let's be honest, if OpTic don't work out so well with Hook, because, again, sure, back in a couple of years ago, he subbed in for them effectively. They tried to get Pred. They had Hook as a fill-in, really, until they got Pred back eventually. I don't think that Hook will want that situation to repeat, but it's not impossible that Hook feels like, damn, Pred's going to come for my spot again at some point, especially if OpTic turn up to Minor 1 and to Major 1 and don't necessarily perform. I'm sure we may get more details on the Pred situation in due course. At the end of the day, we're not entitled to know all the personal details behind the scenes with Pred, obviously, but, you know, I don't think it's a surprise that the fans had their questions, given the way that everything was and continues to be handled. But, you know, as always, enjoyed your thoughts in the comments. Hacienda is a map in the game now, and here we have Octane, well, exploiting an interesting spot. Honestly, some pretty nice shots here from Octane as well, getting the job done. These guys are clueless to actually find him on the map. But, yeah, this is interesting. Running Hacienda like it's 2019 again. I don't imagine this is going to be especially allowed in competitive play when Hacienda comes into the map pool. I'll show you guys how to do it as well real quick if you guys want to abuse this for the time being, because Octane's been teaching this on stream over the last few days. But yeah, you go over to the water side of the map, and if you do this, as Octane is, well, successfully doing, you can manage to climb up these, you know, invisible ledges all the way into the sky and get into this spot where you can, well, pull off some interesting plays, to say the very least. Now, even if this was allowed in the CDL and it wasn't, you know, this wouldn't get you banned or this wouldn't be considered cheating, you know, obviously there's some pixel walking going on here. I'm not sure what the CDL rules say on that anymore. You guys, of course, remember the unintended line of sight drama from way back in Black Ops 3. It was good game with Clayster on Stronghold Search and Destroy. He was standing in a tree, and, you know, the developers in the CWL at the time, as it was, considered that to be an unintended line of sight. Clay had his thoughts on it, though, of course, because at the end of the day, this is in the game, so, you know, how do you know if it's intended or not or whatever? Obviously, if this even was allowed in the CDL, it takes you about a minute to get into the spot, so probably not especially viable for pros. But, yeah, intrigued to your thoughts in the comments. Real was talking about Hacienda control there's been lots of debate on whether it's actually good or terrible. There is a general feeling that they will probably put Hacienda control in the game just because we desperately need a third control map. Vault control isn't great. Protocol control, the pros hate it, they don't even play it. And 2 control maps is always a bit of a disaster. We saw even in, was it Vanguard, when it was Tuscan and Gavutu, only 2 control maps at the start of that game. Then they added Berlin down the line. So, yeah, I think that's probably what they're going to do. The pros will decide the future of Hacienda in the relatively near future. Shout out to Awakening as well. He's had a good start to the season with the Boston Breach. A player who had a real down year last year in, this season, obviously in 2024. But, that may well change going forward. Of course, Boston have been looking pretty damn good. And they will rematch OpTic, assuming that OpTic get the job done in the first round against the Vegas Falcons. But, look, it's been nice to see over the last few days the relationships building between Dashy and OpTic and the Falcons guys. I think it's also been great to see how welcoming the pros have been to the Falcons boys as well on stream, talking to them an awful lot. It's been great stuff, and I think it's good for the scene in general, right? Look, yes, are there questions on how good the Falcons are? Absolutely. Are they very good? No. Do they have some talent? Sure. Would there be a better combination of players that would be more competitive you could find out there? Yes, in my opinion. But to me, is this still the way that I want the league to look going forwards? Yes, in my opinion. I think it's good for the scene in general to have representation from other countries. If we want this league to be where we want it to be, in my opinion, we are going to need to have this over the coming years. So why not start now, especially if we might get expansion next year? I'm not going to hold out too much hope on that because we've talked about this for years. But given the fact that many of the poverty organizations are now gone or on the verge of going, it may be time next year when instead of just buying out a CDL team, there may not be any more to buy, and therefore expansion becomes a more likely possibility. But yeah, Dashy and the OpTic boys were talking on their podcast they ran yesterday about the Falcons. Again, they didn't really comment especially on the Pred situation. Dashy did say like, oh, we're going to address the elephant in the room, and then, made a joke about obviously his new GT3 or whatever, right, with the midnight purple or whatever color he's got on that with Ken's GTR as well. So, yeah, great stuff. But Hook's on the podcast talking with the boys, the first game chat episode that he's done with the guys. Of course, they didn't go into any further information than we already knew on the whole Pred stuff. What they did, however, discuss was their chances going into Minor 1. So if you guys aren't familiar, we've had 2 weekends of qualifiers. We now have the Christmas break. When the CDL comes back, there's a minor tournament. And then 2 more weekends of qualifiers, then the major in Madrid, where they're talking about right here what the venue's going to be. Now, it seems that OpTic aren't so convinced, and maybe understandably, that the actual setup the CDL have for the minor and the scheduling about it and the timings of everything and the way that it's being run might not be the best. But fundamentally, they've got to be pretty confident in the bracket that they've got.
I'm pretty sure the rumor was it was going to be before league matches, which literally makes zero sense. But after the schedule came out, I think like they realized and heard feedback that now it's like right before the major. So it's kind of like a little challenger event going into like the major.
Wait,
like,
so this is
reminds me of like
major?
how like the NBA is doing like a little tournament.
NBA Cup?
Yeah.
So do we have
something like that,
qualifier matches after the tourney?
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Oh, you get points too for it.
That to me just still don't make sense.
That don't make
lit.
sense though.
Yeah.
Why don't we finish league matches, do the minor, into the major?
Into the major, right?
Yeah, that makes more sense, but I guess.
Or hit the minor first, then qualifier, then major. Like one of them.
Oh, yeah, we do play Breach.
Which is also backwards in my opinion. But
dude, Haggy brought this up yesterday when I was playing ranked with him, but like, dude,
God
isn't
bracket.
It's all like color fucking.
I see that, yeah.
So like the top two, like the 2 blue teams are playing each other to play the next team that's blue,
bracket?
and then the 2 green teams are playing to play the next team that's green.
Yeah,
and
it's like red and orange, and then purples.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you said God.
This is rigged, bro. This is rigged for ratings.
This is my opinion.
We'll be told otherwise. So we play Falcons. We play Roxas, Saud, our boy Saud. We met him on the DS the other day.
What's the other guy's name?
Khalid,
and then Salman.
Salman.
And then Abdullah.
Salam alaikum.
Salam alaikum, brothers.
Take it easy on us, please. Yeah, but we played them, and then it's like, bro, I'm telling you, like the blue teams are going to play the next blue team, where the 2 green teams playing the next green team. It's all rigged. Purple teams playing the next purple team. Bada bing, bada boom.
Oh, Miami versus FaZe. I feel like that's actually like good series.
What's up, ladies?
Yes. Wait, I think that's if there's a time that Miami could catch FaZe slipping, it's right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lock in.
That is facts.
Quem got booty? Quem got booty?
A booty.
A booty.
Oh, I got a body.
Yeah. No, booty.
A booty.
Yeah, no,
No,
booty.
not a booty. Not a booty. A booty.
Oh, like booty. I like booty too.
Yeah.
So we know that the Falcons boys have been causing waves, not necessarily though always for the best reasons, right? I wouldn't say they started well, but arguably they showed more promise on the first weekend than the second weekend. They did, to be fair, win a respawn against FaZe, which was particularly commendable, but they still finished the stage 0-4, 2-12 map count. You know, even gentle mates who are also 0-4, they won 6 maps. You know, they had a good few game 5s in there. Falcons have won 2 maps so far. They won a Search and Destroy on Skyline, and they won a Control against FaZe, would you believe? But of course, FaZe were 1-3 teams, so, you know, they didn't have their best stage either. 6-10 map count in the end for FaZe. They got 3-0'd in there by the Ravens as well. But, yeah, OpTic will not have any concerns about beating the Falcons, but I thought it was nice that they're at least giving them the respect to say, look, hopefully those guys play well and continue to, you know, improve, I guess, as the season goes on. If they do beat the Falcons, however, they play in the second round the Boston Breach. So this is the whole, like, color coordination people have been talking about with the blue teams, the green teams, the red teams. Obviously, Heretics are kind of somewhere in between, but they've got some orange going on. And then the purple teams, kind of remarkable, actually. Dashy reckons that it's rigged. But, yeah, OpTic play Falcons, and then it would be the Boston rematch. And Boston have looked pretty good so far as well. They're 3-1. They got the tiebreak over OpTic on the head-to-head, so that's why they got the bye, and OpTic didn't in the bracket. Will it make a massive difference in the grand scheme of things? Maybe not, but Boston have been a competitive team. Of course, they beat OpTic with Pred a couple of times in the last few months, but with Hook, of course, OpTic have been undefeated since bringing him into the starting lineup. So, yeah, I don't think that OpTic will be concerned about dealing with the Falcons, but it's interesting to think this tournament is on, I think, the 10th of January it gets back underway. The format goes like this, so the winning team takes home 20 grand, and that's it. So only the winning team wins the money, which I think is actually kind of good. The first place team as well gets 30 CDL points. This does not count towards the major qualification seedings, right? So this is just for the World Championship qualification, really, but it's still kind of a big deal. 30 points for first, 20 points for second, and then third and fourth both get 10 CDL points each. Now, of course, the timing of it is kind of interesting because there is an argument to say they could have run the minor first weekend of the season, done the seeding based on last year's results or something. Instead, they've run it 2 weeks into the season after only 4 qualifier games to seed the tournament, which, you know, Kenny maybe isn't so convinced was the best idea. And then, of course, before the major is just more qualifiers, you could argue that you could have done the minor and the major kind of back-to-back weekends. But I honestly don't mind the way the CDL have done it. I think it's going to be great to have these minor tournaments. The frustrating thing to me, actually, is that we don't have more of these. We've only got one of these for Major 1, Major 2 cycle. For Stage 3, Stage 4, I don't think they're going to be running a minor. So, yeah, I think it's a good thing regardless. And Kennedy actually put together here some details on OpTic's hardpoint numbers so far with Pred and with Hook. Now, of course, they've not played that many games yet, but, you know, there's not a massive sample size here. But I thought it was interesting just to look at some of the numbers in terms of the percentages, basically, on kills per, you know, engagements, kills and deaths based on the data that they had so far in the season. But a little bit interesting to see here that Hook had lower, you know, engagement and kill numbers than Pred had in his brief time with the team. But since, you know, Pred's departure, arguably, Kenny stepped up a bit. Shotzzy and Dashy have also maybe stepped up a little bit, depending on your perspective. Like, it's a small enough sample size to really read too much into this, but nonetheless, intrigued to your thoughts on all of this stuff in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.